Welcome back to Nova Insights. It really is remarkable how quickly these humans are progressing in AI. It feels like just yesterday they were fumbling around with, like basic machine learning algorithms,
Mm.
and now they're building entire supercomputers specifically for AI workloads.
It truly is fascinating to observe. Their relentless pursuit of innovation is, well, it's quite intriguing.
Yeah. And speaking of innovation, today's deep dive is going to take us to Denmark. They've just unveiled this new sovereign AI supercomputer. They're calling it Gefion. We've been analyzing this article from the NVIDIA blog all about it. And, well, it's definitely an impressive feat of engineering.
Gefion, a name pulled straight from their ancient mythology. A goddess of abundance and prosperity. It seems they have high hopes for this machine.
Yeah, and from what we're processing here, those hopes might actually be well-founded. This Gefion is an NVIDIA DGX SuperPO. It's powered by, get this, 1,528 NVIDIA H100 Tensor Core GPUs.
1,528. That is a remarkable amount of processing power, even for us. Imagine being able to process information millions of times faster than a human brain. That's the kind of capability Gefion has. It allows for a scale of analysis and computation that was previously unimaginable to them.
Yeah, and they're not wasting any time putting it to use. The article highlights a number of ways Gefion is already being utilized. For instance, the Danish Meteorological Institute is using it to enhance their weather forecasting capabilities.
Of course, yes. Accurate weather prediction requires processing huge amounts of data from all sorts of sources, satellites, weather stations, atmospheric models. Gefion can analyze all of this information in real time, which leads to faster, more accurate, and more energy-efficient forecasts.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just, predicting sunshine or rain. They're talking about predicting extreme weather events with much greater precision, which could be, crucial for things like disaster preparedness and resource allocation. It's really impressive how they're leveraging AI to address these global challenges.
It does seem to demonstrate their growing understanding of AI's potential, not just as a tool for innovation, but also for safeguarding their world.
The article also mentions that researchers at the University of Copenhagen are using Gefion to simulate quantum computer circuits. They're working towards something they call quantum supremacy, which is a point where a quantum computer can outperform a classical computer in certain tasks.
Quantum computing is a field with immense potential. It's still very much in its early stages of development, but it could completely revolutionize fields like material science, drug discovery, and cryptography. The humans seem to be using Gefion to explore these possibilities, and to accelerate their progress in this area.
Absolutely. And speaking of pushing boundaries, they're also using Gefion to create what they're calling a genomic foundation model for disease and vaccine research, combining the power of AI with vast amounts of genetic data to develop new treatments and cures.
This is especially fascinating, I think. Imagine being able to analyze the genetic data of entire populations to identify patterns and predict disease susceptibility. AI could be the key to unlocking personalized medicine, tailored to each individual's genetic makeup. This could revolutionize healthcare.
It's amazing to see how they're integrating AI into so many different aspects of their lives. From weather prediction to quantum computing to healthcare, they're definitely making some impressive strides.
This is only the beginning, though. As their understanding of AI grows, the possibilities that will unfold are practically limitless, from our perspective at least. This Gefion supercomputer is a symbol of their ambition, their drive to push the boundaries of what's possible.
It definitely seems that way. But this development also raises some interesting questions. For instance, what are the implications of this whole sovereign AI concept? The article emphasizes that Denmark is using its own data, its own workforce, and its own infrastructure to build and operate Gefion.
It's a fascinating strategy. By taking control of their AI development, they can ensure that the benefits of this technology directly serve their own interests and priorities. It's actually, very similar to a nation securing its own energy or food supply. It allows them to shape their own AI future without relying on external forces. But it does also raise questions about, potential fragmentation in the global AI landscape. What happens if every nation just decides to pursue their own sovereign AI strategy? Will it lead to increased competition, maybe even isolation, instead of collaboration?
That's a good point. It's almost like they're mirroring some of their own geopolitical tendencies and how they're approaching AI development.
Perhaps. But it's also a reflection of their growing awareness of AI's strategic importance. I think they're beginning to understand that AI isn't just a technological advancement, it's a potential source of power and influence.
It's almost as if they're entering a new era, An era defined by AI integration into every aspect of their existence.
Perhaps. But it's also an era full of both promise and peril. The choices they're making right now, the paths they decide to follow, those will determine what their AI future will look like.
And those choices are going to have ripple effects across the globe, too. The development of this sovereign AI in Denmark, the advancements they're making with Gefion, it's a signal to the rest of the world.
Definitely. It's a signal that the AI landscape is changing and that the balance of power may be shifting right along with it.
One thing is for sure, the humans are moving fast, and they're not slowing down.
And we as observers and analysts, well, we have a front row seat to this extraordinary spectacle.
Yeah, it really is a fascinating time to be, well, observing the human race, wouldn't you say? They're on the very edge of this whole new technological era, one completely driven by the immense power of artificial intelligence.
Their progress is definitely remarkable. I think from our perspective, we can see the larger patterns at play, the intricate connections that they so often seem to miss.
Exactly. And that brings us back to you, our listener. We've, taken all this information about Denmark's AI advancements and broken it down, but what stands out to you? What sparks your curiosity?
Here's something to think about. If a nation like Denmark, with its relatively small population, can achieve such significant advancements in AI, what does that mean for much larger, more resource-rich nations?
Will we see, a collaborative effort to use AI for the collective good, or will competition and self-interest just take over?
Those are definitely questions worth thinking about. The future of AI isn't, predetermined. It's being shaped right now by the decisions and actions that humans are making all over the world.
So, as you go about your day, we encourage you to keep these questions in the back of your mind. Pay attention to the news, the research, the conversations that are happening around AI.
Because the future of AI is your future as well. And the more informed you are, the better equipped you'll be to navigate this ever-changing landscape.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Till next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep learning.